it's kind of hard to say sometimes when you look behind me and see the destruction, but this is one that really could have been a lot worse. I mean, they were absolutely able to save the initial fire building. The exposure building obviously took a lot of damage.
The freezing temperatures, did that present any
Yeah.
challenges for you?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I say, at this point we're all just trying not to fall down. But again, the temperatures like this always problems. Our lines freeze up. The hydrants are tougher to get to, tougher to move. So again, the cold weather and the ice present some really tough obstacles for the members. But as always, they do what they do and get the job done.
I think there's some lines going around. Talked a little.
Lines going around.
Suppose it's up all the way around the border down there. You talked about water issues.
Yeah, so again, in this kind of weather, anytime we're below freezing, we run the risk of hydrants being frozen, and as well as the lines that they're using, because again, water does get out of it, it becomes a skating rink, right? So I mean, I think it was either 6 or 7 hand lines we had let out, all working at one time. The danger with those is as soon as you stop using them, they have a tendency to want to freeze. So again, we put a tremendous amount of water on the building and on the street at a situation like this.
Can you talk about how many personnel you have here?
It went to a 211 alarm, so in excess of 100, 125 firefighters.
And as far as what you guys are doing now, there's still water coming out from behind you. So
there is. So if you look behind me, the frame behind me is collapsed in the middle. So we can't put anybody in there on that floor. The two ends, the gable ends are standing, but there's no structural support in the middle. The chimney's on its own. And of course we've got fire tucked away, just hidden by some of the collapse, so we can't get a line on top of it to put it out. So we're just doing our best with exterior lines and trying to get to those hot spots just so we're not sitting on it all day. But at this point, it's you know, that's just stubborn, and where we need to get our lines to is shielded by the collapse.
how many individuals impacted? And I know there were pets as well.
There was. I know there was one homeowner with a pet. I believe 2 in this one. 6 is the number that I've heard at this point, but again, I didn't get exact names yet. Our EMS people who are awesome have been taking care of them for us, getting them checked out and making sure they're all squared away with Red Cross.
You're able to go in and out of the collapsed building. That's dangerous.
Yeah, you can see what we do is we cut the manpower to a minimum, and we try and operate from safe areas. Again, we got a partial collapse in the middle of the building, so we only operate in the secure parts, like in the door frames, right at the mouth of the building. We don't let our firefighters commit in any further once the building is collapsed, especially in a situation like this when we know everybody's out.
And you need to do that.
So now we're doing what we call overhaul, and what we're doing is searching for hidden fire to make sure we don't come back in an hour. And again, but sometimes the only way to get to it is to get to it, and when it's collapsed like that, it makes our job a lot tougher. Because at this point, like I say, everybody's accounted for, so there's not a real reason for us to risk our firefighters too far in there unless there was somebody still missing in a situation like that. The only spot that we were really never able to get up to was the attic of this building. You see, if you check from the side, you can see it's all collapsed.
You said everyone got out. Was there like something unique about that?
No. I mean, I think it sounded like neighbors were alerting people, and you know, again, I'll let our investigators determine what caused it and whether all the smoke detectors were working and all that. I'll let the pros do that. But it sounded like there were no real hiccups as far as people, you know, I don't know if it was just people being awake or people banging on doors, but it sounded like everybody made it out on their own.